Hi, I'm Seamless, and this is the 10th viewer track reviews. Today we have 4 tracks that I think are neat, a bit of interesting variety, and we're going to start with a cool one that I'm sure is just asking to be hit by copyright takedowns, but that's okay, because there's actually a feature for YouTube where if you have a song in your video that's copyrighted, you can just remove the song. And really what that does is it just mutes everything around the time that song exists, which is great. So I was going to amend the rules to deal with certain things that crop up a lot. I mentioned on Facebook the idea that I might say it must be unreleased. And really what I meant by that is that it must not be in the copyright ID system on YouTube, and you shouldn't send it to me unless you get whatever label you released it on to whitelist my YouTube channel. Unfortunately, a lot of people get released, they release their tracks to be, for sale or whatever on iTunes or whatever without actually being on a label, which is actually, awesome. You should do that. But it also means that it gets put into content ID by a system that you really don't have contact with or control over. Which means that if it gets up on my channel, I can't monetize my video, and then I can't do these videos. So what's going to happen is that if I get hit with a copyright claim by your song, I'm just going to remove the song. So be aware of that. Pardon me while I turn off my heater. GG heater. Okay. So this track is called Overwatch by Vesok. I don't know how to pronounce names.
Mission failure will result in permanent off-road entitlement. Local civil protection team report status. Agreement ordinary verdict code on suspect.
Reinforced sector 5-4 Overwatch. Force the drop in Local civil protection team report status. Freeman, ordinary verdict code on suspect. Reinforced sector 5-4 Overwatch. Force the drop in
That ending. So this track I'm enamored with greatly just because it uses Half-Life 2 samples, which is super cool. My usual sort of A&R methods of looking for these things are, skip around the tracks, try to find sort of what it sounds like, and then kind of go with it. I found this track, I just would hit the drop, and then like I noticed like at one point that there was the gravity gun sound, and I'm like, so then I looked up like, oh, it's called Overwatch. Oh, it has Half-Life 2 sounds in there. I almost called it FL2. Half-Life 2 sounds in there. I'm like, it's sweet. I played a lot of Half-Life 2 Deathmatch around the time when the original Crisis came out and Call of Duty Modern Warfare the first, and before Team Fortress 2 was a thing. Half-Life 2 Deathmatch was pretty much all that I played. So these sound effects are deeply ingrained in my soul, and this song is just deeply nostalgic for that reason. I also I very much enjoy the kind of like death steppy, like dark sound that this track has. Having said that, it does have a couple of problems that I think are problems. The kind of the ringy tone of the snare got a little annoying after a while. The really just didn't. It just sort of rubs me the wrong way. By the end of the track, because you just hear the same thing so many times, it's like, oh. Although, I mean, repetition is sort of the name of the game for these sorts of things, so it behooves you not to make individual sounds that complicated if you're going to use them all the time. Because the more distinct they are, the more you notice them, and the more that particular distinction gets rammed into our heads a billion times, and then you're just guaranteeing that, however interesting it was initially, that it's dead now. Which is the same is also true for a lot of the sound design of this song. I get that like the main bits aren't really designed to be more than just that. It's just sort of a big wall of sound kind of thing, and it definitely achieves that. I mean, mostly sort of the fill elements, like these guys. They happen more or less the same way every time, except for very few times where they actually do something different. I'm actually looking. What is this guy? And there was one other time, I guess it was near the end. Yeah, right there. Where it was a little bit different for a second, but that only happened that one time. Versus that other sort of riff that occurred every time. That kind of thing. The other bummer is the kick and the snares mixing. Mostly the kick. You notice how you can actually see the kick, not just from here, but also up here. A really harsh, high-frequency kick. And it makes a lot of sense as to why this kick is like this, because, I mean, it's when you're mixing against this stuff, the kick has to be like that for it to compete with the high-frequency wall of noise that is the rest of the song. It's just that when it's not a wall of noise, it's, like, outlandishly high frequency. It's ridiculously heavy like that. Not only that, but I would probably recommend that you don't start the whole beginning of the song going hard on the kick and the snare. I would use entirely different samples. I would have like maybe some loop or something in there just to kind of like for there to be drums. Just so that when the drop itself finally happens, it's not like you're gently sliding it. Like the whole build up, just when the drop, there wasn't enough contrast between before the drop and after and the drop itself for the drop to have the meaning it could have had. Also, kind of some of the fills kind of got stale. Like in particular, there's a Tom one that you use a lot. I mean that one that's pretty standard fill, but like this guy, it's every time with that, and it's another one of those things that just sort of just kind of gets a bit too repetitive. So for this sort of a song like this sort of reaches maximum potential, I would recommend slightly more variation. Not like all the variation. Like not every note needs to be different. Like again, it's just sort of the point of this genre that it's like the way that it is. It's just that you don't need to go so hard with it. You know what I mean? So fun track is fun. And now for something completely different, but also kind of similar, but mostly completely different. This is a fun song. A song like this that I really just would not have expected to get. It's called Drop Tuner, I guess, and Bonsai Joel. Oh, it's this guy again. This is the guy that I think this is the dude that sent that like crazy super like industrial metal track that was very noisy. So I guess it makes sense that actually this track got sent to me. Bonsai jodelfish? So that was that track. I really have nothing to say about it. Like, it's just perfectly what it is. It's very doomy, and I dig the doom, and I dig the low tuning. I like that, and I love that fucking bass slap at the end with the flabs. The flabs are great. I love stuff like this. Like it took me kind of a while to acclimate to music like this. Like this would have gone great. Playing like with my metal band, with the bands that are around here. We have a couple of actual doom acts. I'm totally sure this would literally be considered doom metal, mostly because it's not slow enough. But as just would not be out of place whatsoever with the kind of metal that I'm used to playing with. I have metal on the mind though, because there's a bar near where I live called The Quarters, which is an arcade bar. And last night, every once in a while, they do a thing called Hell Night, where they get a metal DJ, like a literal vinyl DJ that has vinyl metal records, and we play metal. They play metal. I don't do shit. I play video games and eat food, and they just play metal, and they have a projector, and they play weird ass 70s horror movies, and like it's a good time. So bonsai, yodelfish, drop tuner. Good times were had by me. All right, I don't remember what this one is. Judging by I think I know what this one is. If it's the one I think it is, I'm already enamored by how ridiculously loud it is. Just look at the freaking waveform. I'm pretty sure this is the one I'm thinking of. Doesn't that look interesting though? Yeah, so here we go with that. This is called One Step by Salaxy. It's like Galaxy, only Salaxy, I guess. Okay.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Discovery, your go for APU shutdown on time. Okay, we have a problem here. Just say again, please. I don't know. You have AP level. Okay, stand by 13, we're looking at it.
This track reminds me of the time I decided to try to see what would happen when I master a song with a 10-band compressor. I made one out of Patcher and just went to town on it. And at the time, I didn't really get that you're not supposed to have every frequency at 0 dB. That isn't what's happening here, because you would know if it was, but it was the degree to which everything is just loud is insanity, which is a lot of fun for me. I kind of enjoyed it. The arrangement is a little bonkers. Like the intro with the whole space program thing, it's cool. The recordings of the old stuff, and then the chords and the leads make sense, and then it just kind of happens. There's just sort of, and then there's like a different one, like unrelated chords that aren't the other chords, and then there's the drop, and the drop, oh boy. So you saw me kind of messing around with my face while I was doing that, and that was because I couldn't tell precisely if the snare's like tail wasn't just like completely panned right, and it feels like it's completely panned right, but then like later when the snare's like by itself, not during the drop, it kind of feels like it's normal. So I don't know what's up with that, but I just thought the song was funny for how loud it is, and the sounds are cool, but there's like the dissimilarity between all the things that are happening in the song, other than the rampant, ridiculous distortion because of how hard it's being pushed, makes me feel like this was sort of constructed out of samples or presets, which I'm not, railing on you about. But if you ever wanted to make it sound like you were not doing that, I would not put random sound, like literally random sounds together. Like this wasn't that random, but what I mean by that is that you need to sort of make them feel like they belong to each other. And there's a lot of sounds in here that like don't really feel that way. Like that guy. This actually kind of, that reminds me. Was that a How to Bass that I did a while ago? I think it might have been one I didn't release. So in that case, you may have arrived at that yourself. Good job with that. And like this sound, I actually like a lot. And it's pretty simple, and it's used well. So I'm into it. I'm into it. And like the only real bummer about the song is just sort of like the drum mixing and the arrangement just doesn't make any sense. Although perhaps it's fortuitous that it's blissfully short for listening to this for an extended period of time. Probably would give anybody an aneurysm for however nice and however good it is that we like. Like this whole part. It's like you don't need notes that high. I'm aware that these are probably harmonics from just saws that are up there, but these are freakishly high frequencies that are bright and just right there, and loud enough for us to hear. So that was that track. Yeah, one more. And I fully don't remember what this one sounds like. And I wish I did, because what is happening? Do you see this? Well, we're about to find out what this track is. I must have thought it was good for a reason. So it appears to just kind of start with a kick, so prepare yourselves. How the hell long is this song? Right, well, here we go. This is Motion by Velocity, or it's Velocity Motion by somebody. No, it's Motion by Velocity. So, here we go. House DJs have an easy life, don't they? So this was nice and sort of groovy. I've enjoyed it. I remember now why I put it in here. And the only thing that bugged me was the introduction of this third element over here. That sort of saxy sounding thing, right? So just doing that for a while, and we gotta get used to that. And like, it just the tone of it just really didn't fit for me personally what was happening beforehand enough that like when it came in, it felt very sort of tacked on. And not only that, but like the rhythm, I didn't at first when there was because the rhythm it's like it hits and then it comes in early, right? So we have like the hit. Oh, that's not doing it. Where is the it came in by itself over here. Yeah. So, so it's not like on the beat every time. And the first time it does that, when it comes in, this bit like because it fades in, it doesn't actually hit on that note where it comes in. So it feels like it just comes in early. It feels like it's off time, and it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me until I heard it kind of by itself over here in like this kick forest, and like that. May have been better introduced like that. It may have been better introduced in one of these sort of breakdown moments. Like out here. This really is very interesting looking in the spectrum to see a song like this. Is like not what I'm used to seeing. Yeah. So that was Motion by Velocity. Anyway, if you have any questions about this, please let me know. This is the whole video track review thing. If you'd like to make a submission for a track to be reviewed, visit the link in the description of this video. If you have any questions, I said that. Please don't forget to like, comment, and favorite, and subscribe. What? All that stuff. And as usual, have a nice day.